Hi, today I'm making another Christmas tradition, which is strufala, homemade strufala, or I call it pignolata from Calabria. And basically, you have to make the dough. So the dough consists of the zest of a lemon, which I did just by just doing that, just scraping it off. You need 2 lemons for this recipe. The zest of 2 lemons. I use the whole thing, whether it's a lot. I like the lemon in it, so I will use as much as I can get. If it's a large lemon, you may get more zest, which is fine. And then we're going to put in a big bowl. We're going to add to the lemon zest 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 8 eggs, and 5 cups of flour. That's the dough. So I will proceed to put it all together and I will show you. So this is what it looks like with all the ingredients and the 8 eggs that I have in there. So now I'm going to add the flour 1 cup at a time, mix it as well as I can, and when it gets too hard, I will place it on the countertop and use my hands to work with it. So I've just added 2 cups of flour. So far, so good. And I will keep adding 5 cups of flour. And before I did this, I put everything away since I don't need them anymore except for the flour. I will be using it throughout the whole process. So that will stay out, but my countertops are back to where I can feel free to go ahead and place it on the counter or wherever you're going to work with it. Because it's a process. It takes different steps that we'll have to go through. And by the way, this is not my mother's recipe, but I have added a few things to it, which I think makes it for a better strufala. It tastes much better. It has more flavor. And it's not filled with air. If you buy this in the stores, this is dough and it's fried. Eventually it'll get fried. And it's delicious. It's not filled with air like you get at the stores. Okay, at this point the dough is ready to be kneaded. So I have to lay it out on a well-floured surface. Make sure you have plenty of flour around and your fingers or any utensils that you're going to use. And we're going to knead it just like you do bread dough, nice and gently, putting it all together, adding more flour if needed, and on your hands. This is the fun part. You knead it for at least a few minutes, get it all together. Okay, so here is the dough, all ready to be made into about the size of a pencil. You have to roll it out to the size of a pencil. And once you do the whole thing like that, the whole loaf, you roll it out, you put it on a floured surface. Once you roll them all out, you put them on a floured surface. Make sure you flour your knife when you slice it. You just keep doing it. As you can see, it rolls out nicely. It's kind of firm. The middle is soft, the dough. So then once we do this, pencil size, or as long as you want, or as thin as you want, because they do puff up when you fry them. They do puff up a little. So make them as thin as you like or as large as you want. Some people like them large size to eat, and that's fine too. I mean, there's no set way. You do it the way you like or your family likes. And so we just keep doing this, and then I'll show you how to slice each one into little pieces, and that would be the next step. So this is how much I've done so far. As you see, it's all on a floured surface. When you're rolling the pieces out, if it's too long, just cut it in half and roll a little bit at a time. If it doesn't roll well, you may need a little bit of water on the side to just help it along. If it's too sticky, you could always add more flour to it. So these are all the strips that I have made. As you can see, I thought it would be more, but this is plenty. And the next step is to cut them into small pieces, which I will show you how to do. So here we are on a floured surface. We're going to take our floured knife and cut into little pieces like that. See how small they are? They will puff up into nice circles like popcorn. And you just keep doing this and flouring them so they don't stick together. And once we get them all sliced like this, we're going to fry them. I use an electric frying pan. You don't have to. You could use it right over the stove in a nice big frying pan. You just have to watch it at all times and be careful with it, because sometimes it boils and it overflows, and you have to be with it on top of it at all times. So this is the next step. So here I am still cutting away. I still have quite a few to go, and always flouring a little bit so they don't stick together. And also, there's nothing perfect about cutting these, it's just, you make a mistake, it's okay, just leave it. It doesn't have to be the same size, whatever size it is, it doesn't matter. At this point, they'll just get fried, no one will know the difference. Okay, so the strudel is all cut up into small pieces, and now I have my frying pan with Wesson oil in it, as much as you could fill with the oil. You may have to put more in later on. And this is the pan I put in once they're fried. I put them in this big bowl because they will fluff up. So I'm just waiting for the oil to warm up. So this is the strudel frying on high, and I'll just let it simmer, and I toss it with my wooden spoon. Okay, I was taking out the first batch, and I'm putting in the second, letting them brown nicely. As you can see, they hardly take any oil. Nice and fluffy. Okay, the second batch is ready to be taken out. So you try to drain it, put it in the pot. It's the flour makes the oil foam, so you have to be very careful with all the bubbles so that it doesn't boil over. And then I'll take all these out, and I'll put in the next batch. I'll put in less amount so it doesn't overflow. You have to be very careful with oil. Okay, so as you can see, I'm still frying. I'm putting in a lot less because it's foaming more as I'm going along. And like I said, it doesn't absorb a lot of oil. And I only have, I think, one more frying pan pot to do, and I've got a lot in here already. And also, when you taste these after they're fried, they don't have such a great taste. But as you know, the last part to this is we melt the honey with sugar and then coat them all with the honey, and that's what gives it the flavor. So I'll just continue doing this. Okay, so this is the finished Trufala. This is as much as I have, which is plenty. So now I'm just going to show you how to just liquefy the honey with a couple of tablespoons of sugar in it, and then we'll pour it over this and toss it and put it in serving dishes. In the meantime, I'm cleaning up, and don't forget the oil that's left, put in a jar to throw out in the garbage. You don't want to put that down your sink. It's not good. So let it cool off. In the meantime, I'll clean up the kitchen and we'll show you the next step. Okay, so here I have 16 ounces of honey and 2 tablespoons of sugar. And I'm going to put it on the flame very low until it's almost a liquid. Buy a good brand of honey. Don't get a cheap one. Get the one that you really like, or maybe a local one, or something really good. Okay, so this took about 5 minutes to get it liquidy, like that. And you want all of the sugar to be melted, of course. And if you have to, lift up your spoon and just taste it. Make sure it's sweet enough, because this is what makes the whole thing. So I'm going to shut it off, and I'm going to pour it over the Trufala while it's still very hot. And get it all out. And at this point, you want to start mixing it while it's still hot. Pick up the bottom to the top. Just keep going like that over and over until it's all coated. You could see the color is beautiful now. Well coating. And then we'll plate it. Okay, so it's all nicely coated. Always dig it up from the bottom up. And I just put it in. Doesn't have to be any special way. Just pour it in as much as you want in one dish. If you're going to give it away, depends how much you want to put in. Once you plate it, you could put some decorations like you do on cookies. I like it plain, but sometimes you want a little more sugar or some red or green decorations on it. And here is the finished Trufala. You see I made a lot of plates. What I do is I keep it in the fridge covered with tin foil, and then when you have company, you just take it out like 5 minutes before so that the honey gets soft again, and it's delicious. And like I said, if you want to decorate it with green or red or sprinkles, that would be fine, or nuts even, that would be great too. And that's it. Hope you like it. Hope you make it. I know it's a lot of work.